This is when she found out that Biden was sick and blew his motor and transmission on the debate stage, and you know, his polling dropped, and then they froze all the funds and everything, and everybody said he got to get up out of there, and he stepped down. Yeah, and she come in there cackling and smiling. Yeah, look at the place, and they knew all along. A disgrace. I wonder how this place is now. I wonder, can they send some B-roll camera action through there now? Did they shut the whole thing down? I mean, man. Yeah. I'll leave it right there for y'all. Screenshot it, take a picture of it. America. Common sense. Didn't earn it. And also, a lot of them be drinking. So I think they come out there, especially now after that landslide loss, got landslided out of there. I think she's drunk. She's even more drunk than ever. Drunk entire inventory. Yeah. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, we definitely got to get into this, because this is what this is trending right now. Everybody's talking about it. It's a lot of back and forth, a lot of conspiracy, a lot of crazy things, y'all. But just, you know, let's go and get into it. You know, since the steak and potatoes is hot, you know, and fresh. They're planning to install Kamala as our new president. Oh boy. As Joe Biden is dying in the White House. Bombshell report just came out that he's been declining even days after he was in there. They already had knew it was a bunch of lies and cover-ups. Yeah, why don't you just take the day off, sir? We'll send you on a vacation. We'll throw in a snow cone. Don't you drop that snow cone on the floor. Don't make a mess, Mr. President. We cleaned up your last mess last week. Please, sir. This is the 312th ice cream cone you have dropped this week. No more. Now, sprinkles on the floor. Yeah. Do you know where you're at, sir? Okay. Making sure. Elderly abuse. It's crazy, man. People falling down the stairs, you know. Criminals walking around, smiling, laughing, and I mean, unbelievable, man. A lot of people need to be held accountable. Need to put their hand. They need to walk them out with their hands behind their back. Yeah, man. A lot of them. They need to take that lady and take her big old binder and throw that big old binder. Set the binder on fire. She gonna come out there and say it was a cheap fake, a deep fake. What we were seeing, what them patriots were seeing isn't real. Then they went on and took it a step further and they played it. What do you mean? They played it on CNN. They played it on MSNBC. They played it on ABC. The alphabetic order is what I call it. And you're telling me what I'm seeing isn't real? Unbelievable. But Kamala. Yeah. Have y'all seen those recent videos? I mean, drunk as hell. She's not taking that loss lightly. But let's get into this, y'all. They're planning on installing Kamala as our next president, as Joe is dying in the White House. Yeah.
Joe Biden is like, well, here's some tea. Joe Biden is like dead.
A president's fitness for office must be determined by science and facts.
While the lawmaker,
yeah, she needs to go. She needs to put her hands behind her back. All that, and we know what you've been doing, ma'am. You're not slick. We know all about you, Miss Pelosi, and you just didn't fail. Now, look, we want you to have a speedy recovery, but you still got to put your hands behind your back. We got to come walk you out. You know, got your new hip in there. Did she get her? Is she out yet? I know she get a new hip. You know, they done greased up the stairs, and she done fell down the stairs. But I think they lied. I think she was off that bottle. Them Patriots saying it's a lot of karma to do with this. But I think she was off that bottle as well. Drunk as hell. That's what they be done. That's what them Democrats do. They show up drunk, no matter any time of the day, drunk as hell. Drunk.
Were busy fighting over the extremely controversial continuing resolution. Most people didn't even notice the red alerts coming from the White House. And while the media is not very keen to report this story, I'm going to tell you why Biden and Kamala came running back to Washington in the middle of the night. We're also going to talk about how this might be part of the plan to make Kamala Harris the President of the United States. And all of this craziness started when Joe Biden decided to suddenly cancel his Christmas holidays and fly back to Washington from his Delaware retreat.
Mr. President! Mr. President! Mr. President, are you going to see the Pope next month? Are you going to visit Pope Francis next month? Please repeat that, sir. Are you going to see Pope Francis, sir, next month?
And Biden wasn't the only one to suddenly change his holiday plans. Earlier that day, Kamala Harris also decided to cancel her plans to fly to California.
Yeah, I seen day before yesterday. Everybody was posting this all over. People were tagging me in it. I'm like, man, what is going on? Something a little fishy. What's going on? What are they doing? You know. And then also was trending, over there in Capitol Hill and Elon Musk and they were talking about the government shutdown. I mean, these last couple of days have been a little spicy, ain't it? Hey, don't worry, it's gonna even get more spicier.
And this happened only hours after the release of a report by the Washington Journal, which has been investigating how Biden's staff tried to hide his mental decline. According to this report, by spring 2021, meetings were being rescheduled to accommodate his good days and bad days. The White House also hired a voice coach, Hollywood mogul and campaign co-chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg, to try to improve his faint, raspy tone. Other staffers removed negative reports from Biden's stack of news for the day, misleading him about the public's opinion of his job performance, which reached a 70-year low in 2024. Now, even though we always knew that Joe Biden was nothing but a puppet, this report finally gives credibility to all of those conspiracy theories. And this report follows a series of leaked interviews by James O'Keefe, where more and more government officials are confessing that Biden has basically been dead for a year.
Well, here's something. Joe Biden is like dead. She can't able to say a sentence. Some meetings where I've been in, like, he's like really progressed in his old age. He'll be dead in a year.
What? He'll be dead in a year?
Now, there are two main...
Did he just say he'll be dead in a year? Bruh. And I know y'all, man, it's not funny, man. It really is. I know we see these things of him falling down. It's just elderly abuse, man. It's sad, man. You know, it really is. I know y'all see me in that previous video they had put a whole compilation of and then they had the drone coming in because of the whole drone situation right now, and they had the drones like basically mixed and edited into the clips of him falling down and stuff, and we had a good laugh, but it ain't funny, man. You know, I know they lied to us, and it's been just a scam, a Ponzi scheme, and you know, they're the ones that've been misleading and false and fake news and propaganda, you know. But at the end of the day, man, it's elderly abuse, man. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. Oh, fella, you know, it ain't funny, you know. But I know there's somebody right now laughing and watching those clips of him falling right now.
Theories about why Joe Biden suddenly had to give up his Christmas vacation and come back to the White House. And one of these theories has to do with the 25th Amendment. I'm sure many of you know that this is the same amendment that defines exactly how the vice president can take the Oval Office in case the sitting president either dies, resigns, or is simply unable to perform his duties. However, most people are now pointing to Section 4 of this amendment. And here's Nancy Pelosi trying to explain it.
This is not about President Trump. He will face the judgment of the voters. But he shows the need for us to create a process for future presidents. The 25th Amendment creates a path for preserving stability if a president suffers a crippling physical or mental problem and is, unquote, in the amendment, unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office and transfers his powers. Specifically, Section 4 of the amendment empowers Congress to set up an independent body to confront such a crisis. Congress has a constitutional duty to lay out the process by which a president's incapacity and the president of any party is determined. This bill honors the duty by creating a standing commission of top former executive officials and medical experts selected in a bipartisan, bicameral way. A president's fitness for office must be determined by science and facts. This legislation applies to future presidents, but we are reminded of the necessity of action by the health of the current president.
So basically, this section gives legal authority to the vice president to remove the sitting president from office even against his will. When Joe Biden was forced to give up his re-election bid, many people were saying that this particular amendment was used to force his hand. And now people once again think that Kamala can use Biden's mental decline to invoke the 25th Amendment. Funny enough, Trump even tried to warn Biden that this amendment will likely come to haunt him in the future.
The 25th Amendment is of zero risk to me, but will come back to haunt Joe Biden and the Biden administration. As the expression goes, be careful what you wish for.
Now, there are some folks who think that Joe Biden might actually be on board with Kamala becoming the president. One user shared this on X. Biden and Harris have returned to the White House. There are rumors that they are planning on invoking the 25th Amendment just to make Kamala Harris president for 30 days. Are the Democrats planning on Kamala Harris giving Joe Biden a pardon for his entire political career? Now, this is certainly not a far-fetched theory. We all know that Biden is in a lot of trouble if Trump takes office and starts investigating him for his actions over the last 10 years. And even though Hunter has been pardoned for his crimes, Joe might still have to face the consequences. So if Kamala can become president and give Joe Biden a blanket pardon, it would be a pretty nice deal for both of them. Kamala can then go on and pardon her other friends and donors like Bill Gates and save these guys from facing any kind of justice. However, the 25th Amendment might make Biden's life even harder because people will start saying things like this. If they invoke the 25th Amendment because Joe Biden has been suffering from dementia since becoming POTUS, all pardons must be voided because he was not of sound mind when making the decision. Invoking this amendment would also raise another terrible question. Was Biden even right in the head when he pulled us out of Afghanistan and started investing investing billions of dollars in other wars. But despite all these questions, there is a chance that he might be removed from office in the next few days. However, there is also an alternate theory about his emergency return to the White House. Ever since he returned, he has made some huge financial decisions. The first one happens to be the cancellation of student debt for 55,000 public service workers. In his press briefing, the president remarked, "The public servants approved for debt cancellation today include teachers, nurses, service members, law enforcement officials, and other public service workers who have dedicated their lives to giving back to their communities and who are finally earning the relief they're entitled to under the law." He has announced another $1 billion for the Ecuadorian Amazon rainforest.
Earlier this week, as you all saw, the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation announced a $1 billion financial initiative to support conservation of the Ecuadorian Amazon. This is a result of the president's recent trip to the Amazon and a continuation of the administration's effort to support innovative ways to address climate change through sustainable growth and development without burdening countries facing financial constraints.
However, the most controversial thing is likely going to be his upcoming pardons. I'm calling it controversial because according to different news outlets, Biden is now thinking about commuting sentences for 40 death row inmates. In addition to a handful of well-known notorious killers, 5 of the men murdered children, 9 butchered fellow inmates, and 1 killed a prison guard with a hammer while serving a life sentence for murdering his wife, a U.S. Marine. So basically, the most vile men in our country are getting pardons from a president who's most likely not even sure about what year it is. Now, in addition to these theories, there are also people who are saying that the mysterious events in the White House have something to do with the drones. For instance, some experts are saying that these drones are Chinese and they might just be the beginning of a bigger attack.
And attempted incursions of these bases by Chinese and other nationals. Really what is occurring here is that they are preparing to attack the United States from American soil.
Congressman McCall also seems to believe that these drones are of Chinese origin.
So my experience is that those that are over our military sites are adversarial and most likely are coming from the People's Republic of China.
He also said that these drones are not only seen over military bases, but also near NASA facilities.
These drones have been reported over military sites, military bases. In fact, NASA seems to be picking up more than our military is with respect to the drones.
Now, we certainly cannot forget about what Senator Rand Paul just said about these drones and the Biden administration.
The bill before us would grant law enforcement significant authority to intercept private electronic communications without consent. For example, the bill would allow the government to conduct dragnet surveillance of the phones innocent Americans traveling through U.S. airports as long as the government claims they are doing it to neutralize a drone. So in order to look at the information that might be coming to a drone, it may be that you capture all the information of everybody surrounding an airport or everybody who lives near an airport. Once you have all that data, what are the assurances that the government isn't looking at your data in addition to the data that may be related to flying the drone? This is not just about security. It's about unchecked government overreach. It's about capitalizing on fear and media-driven hysteria to jam through sweeping legislation that could violate the civil liberties of American people. Congress has a constitutional responsibility to serve as a check on the executive power.
Now, these theories about enemy drones are further strengthened by this strange phenomenon that's been witnessed all over the country.
The lights do not always flash. I go to Walmart all the time, and they never flash like this.
That's not doing it, just asking.
Waynesboro, Virginia. We have blinking light syndrome here too. Haven't seen any drones. But tell me why everything's blinking.
Yeah, man. Something weird been going on, man.
The inside is blinking in there too, if you look.
No, that's just the outside.
Is it just the outside?
Yeah, it's just the outside, but not in the inside. Yeah, it's not. It's the
So
outside.
why is this building blinking too?
Maybe it's the drones.
What y'all think of them drones, man? There's a lot of people, a lot of big time people, man, that are speaking. They're saying it's this, they're saying it's that, they're saying it's this, that. What y'all think of them drones, man? Trump says they know. The government knows what it is. And they're just not telling us. Trump says they know. They know what it is.
And in addition to these lights, some people have also reported drones that are allegedly spraying strange mist from the sky.
Another one. They're just in rapid succession. Not a plane. They don't. That ain't what they do from here. They're blocking out the moon. See? Just in the air. Oh my God.
And to add even more strangeness to this whole thing, the Pentagon has apparently classified its briefings on the subject.
Just why does it have to be a classified briefing if these are just hobbyist drones, they're not military drones? Why is it a classified briefing on the Capitol Hill?
I'd have to refer you to Congress on that. Again, sharing as much information as we can here. I don't have the briefing in front of me, so I can't tell you specifically, what aspects are classified or not. I can assure you, though, that again, we are sharing as much information as we can based on what we know.
Now, this theory about an imminent Chinese attack isn't the only explanation for these drones. Some experts also believe that Biden's strange actions can be explained by a false flag operation that involves these drones.
We did predict this 30 years ago, that they would begin to launch some activity equivalent to a false flag to make it look like there's some sort of alien attack or threat.
And according to some folks, this false flag operation is designed to keep Trump out of office as long as possible. Now, I would love to know what you think is really going on within the...
Man, that's... Whew, I tell you, y'all, it's something. But hey, Merry Christmas, y'all. Merry Christmas. Y'all don't stress yourself out, man. But then again, we don't know what to expect, man. Prayers, man. Prayers. We don't know what to expect next, man. Prayers for Trump, his family, his team, his cabinet. Prayers for you guys and your family, your loved ones, man. We don't know what to expect next, man. One day at a time, though, y'all. One day at a time. God bless some beautiful pages around the world. And I will catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, y'all.